What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, a podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the True Gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. Bro, how you doing today?
I'm doing good.
You are awake.
That's the lie I'm gonna
which
go
is
with.
always the case.
Yes, I'm a constant state of awake. Yeah, I've started to I'm trying desperately to not constantly complain on Twitter and stuff. Yeah. But every now and then I do chuck an update. Like, if you were wondering, you can catch me on Discord. You can shoot me a DM.
Just in case you were wondering. No, I'm not sleeping. Obviously, I'm awake.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I've had a really good set of busy days at work. Good set of busy days, not bad set and whatnot. And then I'm gonna be off from basically Monday. Not off, but everything's going back to normal. Where it's like the easier job, slightly relaxing, whatnot. I did this so I could make a bit more money to hopefully infuse into the whole moving of the house. Yeah. And coming up to Christmas, obviously, you're gonna have to buy gifts and stuff like that. Which I've got some plans to make some gifts as well.
Yeah, tell me about this.
So I've got some ideas to make some gifts out of wood, basically.
One quick pause. This is a gaming podcast.
Yeah.
The reason I want to talk about this is because both you and I still game, but we got to be old men.
We did.
And then
Snuck up on us.
Neither of us can afford smokers. No. So we're not into smoking meats. No. But we would be. I'd be all about that.
I'd be smoking
all about
any
that.
meat I found.
All the meat. Smoking all of it. All of it. Especially, you can actually smoke sausages, unironically, and they're apparently amazing.
Apparently.
So we have added dumb old man hobbies to our gaming. So I'm programming, you're doing woodwork, and that's anytime I sit down, I could game, but Ed's not online, so maybe I won't do Space Marine. Or maybe I'll just program something. And then I'm just pulling my hair out. Believe it or not, the sides are cool. So tell me about your woodworking, bro. What's on your Christmas list?
So I went out and I bought some. I posted online, but then I bought some more. I bought some proper hardwood lumber, and it's thick wood, and it's long and stuff like that. I was like,
smoking sausages, long thick wood.
This is all the manliest stuff you can do. It's funny, isn't it, that the manliest stuff is also semi.
Oh, not semi. It's fully hard.
It's been I bought some of that. I'm gonna make a few cutting boards because there's a rite of passage when it comes to woodworking.
You kind of have to, don't you? Are you doing the light block, white, dark block?
Yeah. Gonna put some strips in there, different colors.
Nice for the thumb holder. Yeah,
that kind of stuff, and maybe give one to my mom, one to a friend or something like that.
Your friends?
I've got something. Friends. Good friends, so not you, obviously.
Of course.
We're just merely work acquaintances here.
Yeah.
But there's some other things that I want to keep a bit of a secret for maybe that when it comes to you, you'll be like, oh,
you're making something for me?
Something for you.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. It's
You're not getting shit.
It's something very specific that you would like. I would be like,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A wooden dildo. No, that's not.
Perfect. I was saying I need some splinters for Christmas. So.
But something that I know when you see it, you'll be like, oh yeah, this is totally me. I get it now. Cool. So you're gonna be very happy about that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Safe. Appreciate it.
Cool, man. No problem. All right. Should we get started with some gaming?
Let's do some
because we can talk a lot more about us on the Conbrosations podcast.
We can.
We should record right after this. Go check out the Conbrosations After Dark channel. It's the best.
Why are you pimping the channel? We're stopping for
that's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, January we're stopping. So
there's a huge backlog though. So
if you want to watch. What it's like discovering a TV show, the last episode.
Yeah.
It was about. Wait, what? I'm pretending like anyone cares. What?
Talking of that, so you know Friends.
Yeah.
You know how Friends actually isn't funny. It was funny at the time because it's all there was to watch.
I enjoy it at the time, but there are better things. Yeah.
I saw this version of someone had taken the scene where Ross is inviting people into his home, him and the kid and Rachel and all of that.
Okay.
And they edited everyone out and it was Friends, but Ross is schizophrenic. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen because there was no other lines.
And he's just talking about
it was amazing. It was amazing.
And he's got that eccentric behavior where it's
he has that manic. What are you talking about? Yeah.
So he could clearly be just talking to nobody.
Yeah, it was great.
Because no one else gives their energy back. So it's cool.
Anyway, gaming. Sorry.
Gaming.
My ADHD is getting so much worse with the sleep deprivation. It's bad.
One sec. I'm going to turn on our AC because I forgot to do that.
Cool.
And we're very, very
I
warm.
was
It's gonna get warm in here.
genuinely... So if you guys don't know, we're recording in the loft conversion. You told me this thing never needs heating, even in the winter. And I was like, nah, there's no way. It actually is freezing, and we do need the AC. I'm starting to warm up.
I'm warm in here. Granted, we got some lights and stuff, but still,
It's warm in
even
here.
without it, I'm like, God damn it, do I have to turn on the AC? Anyway, bro,
Yes.
to kick today's episode off, we're going to talk about The Witcher 4, which has entered production officially.
Nice.
This comes from, hold on a second, I just got to pull up a page right here.
Nice and prepped.
Witcher 4 has entered full-scale production. Developer CD Projekt Red has announced officially. As part of its latest financial results, the Polish company said Project Polaris, which is the next installment in the Witcher trilogy,
Yeah.
the new installment in the new Witcher trilogy, I should say, has now progressed from pre-production to full-scale production. A quote here from the CEO, Michael Naukowski, says,
Good attempt.
Good attempt. I mean, it's funny because I've been to Poland. I'm married to, I'm with a Polish
Basically
girl.
married to
a Polish girl. Strange. Think I would have learned it by now. I'm proud to confirm that several weeks ago, the Polaris team wrapped up pre-production and have moved on to full-scale production, the most intensive phase of our development. We are very pleased with our progress in the project and wish to thank the team for its dedication. Things are moving forward, bro. I know we previously had some intrepidations based on the past of CD Projekt Red. And especially when Cyberpunk 2077 came out, we were like, do we really want this team to give us another Witcher game?
Yeah.
I mean, should they go back to a Witcher game? Should they go to Cyberpunk 2078, which is our standard numbering system?
Of course.
Anything? But then we started to hear some people started to leave the studio, some key people, some well-known names. And then they announced they're going to be doing The Witcher next. How do you feel about it now? Has anything changed? Do you feel better? Do you feel worse?
So, the team that made the masterpiece that is The Witcher 3, and if you haven't played the DLC, because I actually know a few people that played The Witcher 3, really loved it, and haven't played the DLC, you're missing out on half the game. Like that DLC, for me, still sets the bar for what DLC should look like. It's incredible.
It's pretty great.
The team that made that mostly isn't there anymore. However, where Cyberpunk is now is in a really good spot. The game's really good. It's really become what it was supposed to be. It's still missing some stuff like the monorail and stuff like that, but fine. And in terms of like the scope of The Witcher, they don't have all of those like advanced extra systems. Like they just need to have the world, the quests, right? My big sticking point is what story are they going to go with? Previously, I think we would all agree a Siri game would go hard. I was calling for a prequel where you play as like Vesemir. I think that would go good, and you end meeting Geralt. I think that would be sick. But that's going to be the big thing. I believe they can do. I mean, worst case scenario, they just spin up The Witcher 3 again, reskin it, change the map a bit, new quests, new characters, right? So it shouldn't be the hardest thing in the world. It's what's that story going to be? If you could pick, what would you go with? You're the story director. Go. Are you going to do another thing with Geralt? Are you going to leave it?
I think it would start off with Siri.
I think the problem is Siri's too powerful. Yeah.
Maybe then it is what you say that they start off with. See, the thing is, it's going to be a trilogy, right? So we know it's going to be 3 games. The problem that I think it'd be a problem with a lot of people is that when people think The Witcher, they think Geralt of Rivia.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's hard to go, all right, let's put a different character. Not that another character can't slap, not that another character can't be great, but it's like with The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
People love Ellie, and it ended up being a great game as well.
Yes.
But
Incredible
a lot of the heart of that game was the talking to Joel in the past.
Yes. Joel's the sticking character.
Exactly. And even before the game came out, people were looking for Joel.
Yeah.
And they did the trailer where it kind of tricked us and thinking he was still alive. Spoiler.
Whoa!
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I've ruined the game for everyone now. So had they not put Joel in the game, I think the game would have been received a lot worse.
I totally agree.
And there are people online that fucking hate that game for some reason.
Those people are...
Yeah.
I'm not even going to get into it.
So I wonder...
I think you don't take Geralt out.
Yeah, I don't think...
Geralt should be there for sure. We need the Trinity. We need Geralt, Triss, and they have to be in there. Have to be somewhere.
I feel like if you are going to do it, and you are going to make like a... I say this about the Uncharted, the next Uncharted game, whatever it might be. Start off with the daughter. Do the daughter thing where she's going on an adventure. And then like she gets herself into a bind, as is every Uncharted adventure. You get yourself in a bind. And then dad pops out to join along with mum.
Yeah.
And then we go on this adventure together. Do that kind of thing. Maybe it starts off with Ciri. She's like trying to do her best, trying to do her Witcher stuff. And then Geralt pops out of somewhere, Yen pops out of somewhere, and then they go together to fight the big bad.
It would be cool to get to play as Yen or Triss as well. Like, I think it's fun. So, you said the game would starve without Geralt. One of the things that made playing as Ciri so good is that we spent most of the game playing as Geralt, and then we have a few little, like, holidays in the power fantasy, playing with these cool new abilities, and then we get back to, like, reality. I think you're right. I think you've got to have some of those grounding characters. It's going to be a really interesting challenge. And there's nothing, I agree with you as well. Like for us, The Witcher 3 was our first foray into The Witcher. So we weren't invested in these characters. So, and we've seen brand new IPs come out and everybody getting interested in those people, like Ghost of Tsushima, right? I think it's going to be interesting. Let me ask you a slightly different question.
Go ahead.
Prior to CDPR's flop with Cyberpunk,
the old blunder.
Prior to that, I was like, I trust these guys. I'm just going to, anything they do, I'm just going to buy day one. Pretty disappointed with the state of release of Cyberpunk, although I think it's a very good game now. Are you just going to day one get it? Yeah,
I'm on top of me also being the kind of guy that doesn't like to be out of the conversation.
That's true, yeah.
Who will just buy something just to be the first, which is amazing. I haven't bought the PlayStation 5 Pro yet. That's real restraint.
Well, you have a big thing coming up.
So maybe, kind of a big expense coming up. Kind of, maybe. I think I'll be there day one because this is... I still, to this day, hold video games as like the top tier entertainment,
without a doubt,
fun,
without a doubt.
Movies are fantastic, but you just get so much more from video games, so much more, especially when it's such a great story.
Yeah, you
get 4, 5, 6 times, 10 times the amount of story that you get from a film. And with the quality of voice acting and motion capture that we get nowadays, it's on par with something that you get in a movie. So.
Me and my missus, we went to see Wicked. The other day. Really good, by the way. Really, really enjoyable.
Is it as good as the interviews with that Cynthia and Ariana woman?
I've seen some clips.
When I say good, I mean as cringe and wanting to blow your brains out.
I've seen some clips, but I have to say the movie, trying to ignore all of that, really great.
Yeah.
They're both brilliant actors. The songs are incredible. It's a good movie. Very worth seeing. But all in, I think it cost us like 70 or 80 quid, all in. And it was a good time. But if I'd have spent 70 quid on a game, I'd have 100 hours of roughly, right? Like, and it was good to watch, but I'd be in it. So we're on this page, like the pinnacle of entertainment is gaming. Those best games that you can think of, your Witcher 3, your Baldur's Gate 3, Ghost of Tsushima, Uncharted, that's the best bang for buck, the best way to spend your time, for us anyway.
Yeah.
The question is if the game's disappointing, how much worse is that going to be?
Oh, that's going to be pretty bad. Because I don't think they, while they gain back all of the trust from the gamers with the constant updates and the DLC and how much love and care they put into repairing the game and their reputation, I don't think they can do, while Cyberpunk 2077, while it was hotly and really anticipated and everyone was looking forward to it, it was still an unknown. So it wasn't like taking away someone's puppy.
Right.
The Witcher is a very well-known thing, a very well-loved thing by a lot of gamers. If you do that bad, it might be like taking away someone's puppy.
Yeah, it's a dangerous one.
And also it will be the confirmation that everyone, when online there's a lot of people that just say bad stuff just to be the guy that says bad stuff.
Yeah.
Or there's people that want to say I told you so they'll get their thing and they'll be like, that's gonna go badly. And then if
they only have to be right once.
Exactly. And if it goes well, they just go off into the shadows and no one cares because they're enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
But if there are going to be a ton of people that are like, I'm not going to trust the CD Projekt Red ever again. And if it goes bad, it's going to give those people fuel. It's going to make the people playing feel shit. It's going to make everyone else feel shit. And then everything's just going to fall apart. I really don't want that to happen.
No, me neither. Especially with The Witcher.
I want to say something because this came up in a conversation the other day.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine who shall remain nameless, Mark, he doesn't watch the show, so he doesn't care. He's a mate of mine, and we were talking the other day, and he's into gaming, but he hasn't played any of the big games. So he hasn't played like Baldur's Gate, and he hasn't played Witcher 3.
Right.
And I said to him, I was like, maybe you want to try it out someday. I'm like, I haven't got a full gauge of what kind of games he likes, but he's played a couple of games. He played GTA, he likes the story of that and stuff. I was like, okay, all right, go ahead. He played Witcher 3. After about 2 hours, he put it down and said, it's not really for me. And I was like, what do you mean? It's like, it's a bit like clunky. And I was like,
because GTA is not clunky.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
right?
sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but I was like, I kind of get it because like you have to like block, you have to dodge and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
but it's not
game.
But there's not really like like in some games they have like a blue marker that comes up and then you go dodge, block. It's not like that. So it's not a lot less hand holding and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I kind of see it. And then I remember that this game did come out quite a while ago.
It's almost 10 years old.
So I was like, okay, all right. And I don't know if you played like the next gen version or something like that, so it might have looked a little bit worse and whatnot. And I was like, okay. When Cyberpunk 2077 came out, the thing looked gorgeous, but a lot of the stuff was very similar to what we had in The Witcher. Granted, there were some differences, like it was first person mode and stuff like that, and it wasn't like the combat wasn't like a swinging the sword over and doing acrobatics and stuff like that. But there were some elements where I was like, ooh, this feels a little bit dated. It feels like it's part of like The Witcher 3 and whatnot, which was fine. It was still great. I wonder if, how many years now? 10 years, and let's say another 4 years until it comes out, nearly 15 years later, if The Witcher 4 is going to feel like The Witcher 3 in combat style.
I would hope that, given that any list that contains The Witcher 3 is reasonably going to contain like The Last of Us. Reasonably, I would say. That they go, well, we brought out The Last of Us. Look at The Last of Us Part 2 and Part 1, the remaster of it. The difference in those games, that should be what we're going for. I would hope, because The Last of Us Part 1 plays so different to The Last of Us 1. Like, it's night and day.
Yeah.
So, which, by the way, was my only complaint about The Last of Us 1, and that's completely resolved in Part 1.
Yeah.
So, brilliant. I think it would be a huge mistake to be like, we'll just do it. We'll just spin up The Witcher 3, basically, reskin it.
It goes, do you remember when I said the thing, this is going to bring back people's memories, when the Cyberpunk 2077 came out and was like, their launch was awful and this was bad and stuff like that. And I said, do you think that maybe The Witcher 3 was a bit of a fluke?
Like, a flash in the pan. I do remember you saying that.
And I was like, oh, hear me. Like, it's great and everything like that. It would add It would add more things to that, but then you have to also take into account that they made the Cyberpunk 2077 good after lots and lots of work. So clearly there's something that they know there.
I actually haven't played Phantom Liberty yet. It's still on my list.
I'm like an hour into it as far as I went.
One of my big complaints about Cyberpunk was the world compared to The Witcher felt dead. It just didn't feel alive. And in The Witcher, like, you go to towns, there are people there, they're walking around, they're doing their day-to-day. You speak to NPCs and they're like real people. I remember there's this one guy who, I don't know why he always stands out to me. He's like a hunter. I think there's a werewolf around or something like that. And as you're talking to him, he's taking you somewhere. It turns out like he was the lover of some dude's son or something, and then they found out, and then they had to like go into hiding, but the son killed himself. And there's this huge deep story to this relatively minor side quest. And that just made me feel like the world was alive. These are real people. Everybody's got real problems, you know, all of them. And that was missing for a good chunk of Cyberpunk. And I think for me as well, that's going to be a big telling point. If it's just a map with a bunch of like medieval towns and they're just, the kids all look like adults scaled down. Do you know what I mean? Like that's going to kill it for me as well.
You'll feel, to put your mind at rest, they've done a lot of updates since the launch of it, and the last time that even I played, where I got the platinum for the game, they have made the world so much more alive. Now there's still some minor things where like some doors just can't be opened, but they've added like more shops and things like that, and they've added more like things going on in the world. And you can go past places and people are doing things. It's a lot more alive, so you'll be very happy with that.
I need to go back and properly replay Cyberpunk.
The one thing that I am looking forward to the most, and I'm sure everyone's looking forward to the most, and the thing that's probably going to make the game sell, is that it's almost guaranteed that this game is going to look phenomenal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
After Cyberpunk and how they managed to get that to look
still one of the best games,
so beautiful
visually,
right?
Ever.
Then imagine a sprawling landscape with like trees and mountains.
Maybe set in Japan.
Maybe set in Japan, you know, and then we have a dual protagonist.
Perfect.
And for no reason, we're just gonna no.
Girls Black now.
But it's you can tell it's just gonna look fantastic. That's gonna be the biggest thing, and I'm looking forward to that as well. Just the steel and the fire. It's gonna be beautiful.
I'm trying to not be excited for it, but I am. Is the summary like?
Well, luckily, as time goes on, your excitement goes down, as they know.
True.
Yeah.
No, it's such a great world, and I just hope that they remember that the thing that makes The Witcher so interesting is, excuse me,
Triss's titties.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Is that every single character has flaws, and you do a quest as the Witcher, people don't want to pay you because you're a witch, you're a mutant. Now the monster's gone, you're the next closest thing to a monster, sort of thing. And that push-pull of like, well, I need to save these people. Wait, these people are pricks. Oh, actually, they're not pricks. They just don't like me. But does that make them pricks? You know, like there's that, like, the fact that there's no easy decision as well, especially in The Witcher, like it's every single decision is a dilemma. Every single one, like the Red Baron. I was like, oh yeah, I know what to do. I'll do this. Come back later, he's hanging from the fucking rafters. Do you know what I mean? Like, wait, what happened? I made the right choice.
I thought I made the right choice.
Yeah, like there's no good choice, and I don't know why that's a good thing, but it is. Like I can't explain to you why that is, but every decision's hard.
It's contrast.
Yeah.
In a world with only light, it's all grey.
Yeah.
If with a world of in a world with light and dark, then you get to see the good versus the bad versus the evil. That's what makes it cool.
Yeah.
Part of what there was a few people that I saw that had an issue with the new Dragon Age game, where apparently I haven't played the game, so I can't confirm any of this for you. But I've seen a few reviews. A few people said this. Apparently they've tried to make it super nice and super good to each other, so no one has like a disagreement that goes beyond, really, is that really what you think you should be saying? And then everything's always phrased in a like talking to a toddler in a preschool thing, where it's like, do you think that's really the right way to be acting right now? Versus two people, when they have a disagreement, then you can make a cool story where they come back together and have like a heroic moment together. Whereas having just moments where it's like, don't worry about it, it's okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry about you said this, and everyone's just kumbayaing and stuff like that. It's the contrast that makes great stories. It's seeing the evil versus the good.
Having to side with someone that you know is a piece of shit, but there's a bigger problem to deal with right now.
Yeah.
And like, if we do this, it helps this guy. Yeah, but isn't it worse to let this other evil exist? And then having to deal with the fact that you helped somebody that is also maybe evil, but maybe wasn't as evil. And like, I agree.
It's part of the reason why the, like, for example, like the Snyderverse movies are so cool, because seeing like the good of like saving the town in Smallville, for example, versus the evil of whatever goes on in Gotham's nights and streets and stuff like that. Instead of maybe what we're going to get with the new Superman, where it's just going to be smiles all day and then everything just looks all plain and anyway, going off topic.
No, it's actually, I think that's a perfect example. Like, I genuinely think the Snyderverse movies would have been way worse without Clark killing Zod. I think forcing the symbol of hope to be in a situation where he has to do something that goes so against his nature to save the planet, and then watching the conflict. Like, he doesn't go, I had to do it. Like, he's deeply damaged. You can see his he hunches a bit. Yeah. For like a movie and a half, he doesn't get back to being who he is until there's an even greater evil to focus on, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think you said it perfectly. If everything's light, then it's all just grey.
Yeah.
There's no flavour to it. You need to have light and shadow, and then you get the scale of, well, how evil actually is that?
Yeah.
Or how good actually is this? Like, it's good to do this one thing right here, but if that leads to something worse happening, is it good to do the good thing now? Yeah. We need dilemmas. Which thing's going to be made or broken on how difficult the world is to make decisions, how alive it feels, and then, obviously, how well they tie in the characters that are going to bring... Because let's be honest, the majority of people that are going to buy The Witcher 4 are Witcher 3 fans.
Yeah.
And there'll be new people, of course. But I think they're gonna need to have those characters at least come in tangentially and not just once or twice. They're gonna have to be fixtures in the game.
I think they have to be. I think it'll be cool, and I think it'll be very. It's what the fans want.
For sure.
Who knows if hopefully they hear it.
Last question then, just on The Witcher. So from The Witcher 3, we can't make witches again. So do you think it goes forward in time? Because this is the thing, if it's a Witcher, I can only see it being either Ciri or going back. Do you know what I mean?
Or we've discovered another way to make witches.
Yeah, maybe. We found a MacGuffin.
Which is entirely possible.
I think if they do that, though, I think we're going to need to see... Ooh, wouldn't it be cool if Geralt was effectively like the bad guy, trying to break whatever system makes new witches, and he's your enemy?
Damn.
Fighting Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2 was terrifying. Being stalked by... I genuinely felt like I was in a room with a lion. As either of them.
Yeah.
Like, this is not something I want to bump into, I think that could be really cool.
Could be. I think, to be fair, it's unfortunate because when a business sees an IP, they want to not definitively end anything. Yeah. They always want to keep it going and whatnot. So, in my opinion, the way it should go is eventually, like, Geralt teaming up and then sacrificing himself to save Ciri, Yennefer, whatever it might be, and that being like a heroic ending to his legacy.
Witches don't die of old age.
Exactly.
And Geralt's a Witcher.
That would be the way that I would do it, and I'd really like to see something cool like that. But
do you know what's awful is I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I thought it was so great to have this idea of like, oh yeah, Geralt's gonna die of old age with Yen. Maybe do the odd job here or there, but like ultimately he's living in the hills of Italy, just hanging out. But I don't think that's a good ending to his story.
No.
I think it's awful. I really think he's got to die.
Yeah.
In some awesome way, but
he's holding something back, and then he's like, he looks back at Syria and he says, "Witches don't die of old age. I want to take you there if you call my name."
Mate, what is it about getting a choir to sing a song? It's just so much better. That's going on everything, and I've heard it a million times. And I've never once stopped a video early because of that song.
For sure.
It's just not getting old for me. So that's The Witcher 4.
Witcher 4.
We know nothing.
Let us know how excited you are and what you would like to see from The Witcher 4.
Also, if you haven't played The Witcher 3 for whatever reason, now's a really great time to get to know it, which actually maybe that might be bad advice if the game's very different, but like it's good to know where it came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you want, you can just play any of the Assassin's Creed games. It's essentially
they're basically the exact same. Yeah.
Essentially the same thing, so it's okay. All right, I'm going to send you a picture of a new game that's coming out called Light of Mortarium.
Okay, where are you sending this?
I'm sending it to you as a text message.
Okay. I'm waiting for this text message.
Here we are. Oh, no, wait, sorry, I've pulled up a note for some reason. That's not useful right now. Thank you so much. There you go.
It's a good thing you're prepped. With nice, smooth transition episodes.
Here we go.
Okay.
Light of Mortarium. I'm
still waiting. There it is. I actually did see this on Twitter.
It's a brand new game coming.
That is a brand new game.
Brand new, original, unique.
With no similarities to anything else in any way. So, I'll lead out with the good points.
Yes.
Like a redhead.
Like a redhead as well. The main protagonist, redhead.
Yeah. Female though, so
a bit of a down point.
Flop.
Yeah.
I do love the robo dinosaur thing.
Robot dinosaurs everywhere. It's fantastic. Such a unique take.
I'd love a game set in like maybe the far future where there are robot dinosaurs and some great evil threatening the world.
Right.
It's a pity we've never had that.
And we have to use primitive weapons infused with some of the technology from these robot dinosaurs to try and maybe fight back and survive.
That's a good concept.
Seems a good concept.
That's a bow and arrow seems like the best way to go in a game like this, for sure. This is just straight up. This is the embodiment of, can I copy your homework? Yeah, but like, don't make it too obvious. And then they just copied the straight answers.
Too obvious. I'm going to send you a link as well. There's some screenshots from the game as well. And it is Horizon Zero Dawn. There is no difference to any of this. Light of Mortarium. Google it, guys. The screenshots are just... It's just the robot. They're the same thing.
It's the same ones as well. This is...
Oh, boy. And then they've got the same thing with the tribalistic sort of like the NPCs and whatnot. Everyone looks like they're all tribes and they're all very primitive and whatnot. It's
one of the comments. I'm sure this has been done before. It's Aloy scratching her head.
Just gonna, this has been done before.
Now I will say, look, I'm not necessarily against similar games, right? Like Call of Duty, Battlefield, right? But this does look like they just copied it,
just straight up.
Yeah,
just straight up.
I mean, it's like I said, it's a great aesthetic.
Yeah.
And I have complaints about the Horizon games. One is Aloy.
Yeah,
is genuinely my only complaint about the game. But outside of that, they're basically perfect.
Yeah.
I wonder though, are they going to wait for Elden Ring 2 to release? Yeah, they'll really copy the formula.
If they're going to be authentic. And they're going to copy authentically, then they have to wait for a huge, big budget release to come out.
Next to Witcher 4. I feel so bad for Guerrilla because they make incredible games and release them next to the Game of the Year winner every time.
No, they're just...
It is Horizon.
Let me read a little excerpt from that article there. Tencent have announced with developer Polaris Quest that it will be releasing a new game. Let's put that in quotation marks right there. New game called Light of Moterium for PC, which looks an awfully lot like Horizon Zero Dawn. The announcement came yesterday, revealing that the game will launch on PC, on Steam and Epic Game Store. But the publisher did not give an official release date. The game has already been ripped apart on social media for being a fairly blatant Horizon Zero Dawn ripoff, but we've attached some images for you to make up your own mind.
I mean, like, I'm looking at one of these. In this, right, I see straight out of Horizon, there's the sun, is it Sunwing?
Yeah.
There's a scorpion, which we had as a boss.
Yeah.
A tall neck, but it's just a deer instead.
Yeah.
And then this, it's just... It's very close. But Tencent have released a few games that have been really well regarded recently.
Yeah.
But I think I haven't seen people talking about the stories in those games.
Yeah.
They seem to be like live service type games where they just farm you for like microtransactions, which again is fine if that's what you're into.
It's not to say that you can't get good stories outside of Hollywood.
Yeah, of course.
Because, I mean, Bollywood is a thing, even though...
You don't like drifting horses?
I was going to say, the majority that we see out of Bollywood, obviously, is the hilarious stuff.
Yeah,
but there's probably good stuff in there that just never makes it out.
There actually are some great movies.
Exactly. And I'm sure it's the same in China as well. They've got their own stories over there. We only hear about... What's that... that one with the... It's like a tall building and there's a lot of martial arts and things very well known. Shit.
You need to use your words.
It's something like, I feel like there's got the number 13 in the name. Someone's yelling it in the comment section, I'm sure. There's a fighting martial arts sort of a movie from China that was very well regarded. I think the stunt team was used in the John Wick's movies as well. So they're very good as well. But we only hear about the hilarious stuff that comes out of there. But a lot of the talent that is appealing to us, a lot of the types of stories that are appealing to us, the talent is in Hollywood, in Western world. So it kind of stands to reason that they only really have looks over there, and then like you don't ever hear about the story because the story is probably not amazing, where most of the game writers that are like the best are probably on this side of
There's also
the world.
A lot of cultural differences when it comes to stuff like this. I can't remember exactly what the game was, but there was something where they were like, it's a Korean game, I think. And they were like, so at the end of each season, we're wiping everything and like you start fresh. And that's totally normal in Asia. And for like Europe, people hate it because we get like attached to our characters and you build stuff up. But apparently it's perfectly normal. Same with like super expensive, like macro transaction like skins. Those are super popular there and less popular here because we feel like we're being taken advantage of, and it's more of a status thing over there of like, look, I have this epic skin. That's like a thing of, look how cool I am, and people are like, oh, look how cool this guy is, he has this cool skin. So there are some differences with that. From what I know of Tencent, they do more of the like the live service stuff. So if the game is more that, then it will be less of the Horizon copy. But again, I don't know if this game's going to catch me. But it's a great aesthetic.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't... And
I don't know.
Let's see what... Let me grab some of the other Tencent games. Let me see what else they've put out. Let me see if I can find...
Is there anything that sticks out? Anything that you recognize?
The thing is, these aren't games that I play, really. But they all look good. That's the other thing. They look good and they seem to run fine. So this is just so obviously a copy of Horizon's homework. That's all it is, really. Yeah,
it's quite hilarious. And I have to wonder what PlayStation's going to do, because this is clearly a copyright infringement, right? Clearly.
It does kind of look it. If they're going to go the Nintendo way, they're going to start suing everybody.
I was going to say, recently Nintendo came out and they actually clarified what pattern it is that that Pal World has infringed on, and it's specifically the capturing monsters with an item that you throw.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest flaw. Not everything else that's in the world, which is quite close, but that's the biggest one that they've done. There might be something like that in here, but surely some judge has got to be like, okay, But you've just taken the world and just put it as your own.
There is another issue though.
Go on.
Which is Tencent is Chinese. Famous for not caring about copyright.
Very true, very true.
Not Tencent, China. So, I mean...
It could just be a
yeah.
I don't care situation.
We're suing you. Huh? Okay.
Good.
You got to pay. No, we're not going to do
Let
that.
me know when that letter gets here, because our postal system...
We moved,
just not,
and so we never got the letter. You have to... 15 years later, they're like, we didn't know.
That.
Yeah.
Is it one of those situations where, like... So have you ever thought about doing something... So like you just get pissed
Maybe
off
once
with
or twice.
you just get pissed off with the council, whatever it is, and like they give you like a fine for something stupid. And you're like, fuck it, I'm not paying it. And then like eventually you're like, you know what, fuck this whole country, I'm leaving. But then you could never go back because they'll just arrest you at the border.
Yeah, for like a £15 parking violation.
That's escalated now to like you've now got multiple CCJs on your name and stuff like that. Is it one of those situations where like Tencent tries to come to the US?
They go to like Gamescom.
Whoa, you're going to jail, sir.
This is major like corporate fraud.
6 years of cases you've just not appeared at, and then we've ruled against you. Anyway, this is hilarious. I can't wait to see what PlayStation says about this, and I wonder if anyone at Gorilla will say anything as well, because this is it's their hard work being stolen here.
I'm really torn because I don't think making games that are similar to other games should be bad or banned or finable or anything like that.
Similar is the key word, though.
Right. Because that's how someone comes up with a cool idea. As an example, Apex Legends, when it came out, was that 2017 or something?
Yeah.
That ping system, it was brand new. Most games have adopted that ping system. It was great. It's a great addition to any shooter game.
Yeah.
And if they were like, well, it's copyrighted, then other games would suffer from this really good idea.
Yeah.
And maybe Apex should have patented that, right? But if you say like, if Pokemon was the only monster battler, you get no Digimon, you get no Yu-Gi-Oh! Do you know what I mean? Like it's a monster battler. So I'm torn. I don't know. I'm really glad I don't have to make these decisions. But what I really hope is that Nintendo don't always get their way and just stifle any creativity.
Which they like to do.
Yeah, I don't understand Nintendo, but
yeah, they're just very, very protective. Some of it is what is like they have to do it like legally, otherwise it sets a precedent for other things and whatnot.
Yeah, I guess.
Which is just a shit situation, but yeah. Our next topic.
Yes.
PlayStation are officially working on a PlayStation 5 portable, a native portable. So recently we got the PlayStation Portal. There's a lot of similar words.
Yes,
so keep yourselves together.
Use the Japanese names. That'd be easier.
Sure, no problem. Konnichiwa. No. Recently we got the Portal, which was a online-based remote play / recently it got cloud capabilities as well, so you can play cloud games. However, you always need an internet connection with that.
Yeah.
This new console apparently is fully native, can run PlayStation 5 games on the hardware itself, and it's being really well touted internally. There have been some prototypes that have been made and everyone's very happy with it. Apparently this is going to be coming around about the same time that the Xbox handheld is apparently coming as well, and come at the same time as that, and is being talked about as a Switch 2 competitor as well. Okay. So that's really interesting.
Well, we know how good things turn out when Sony has their echo chamber of this is amazing.
Yes. Like everyone internally, like, yes, we all agree we are amazing. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. But I will say this is a bit of competition for them, because recently it's not been very competitive. It's been pretty much Sony can just do whatever they want. They're selling, they're making all these games that people buy, consoles, same thing. Cool. In the handheld space, it looks like there's going to be 3 handheld competitors. And I admire Sony for going into it. They could have easily just said, nah, fuck it. We'll just stick with our PS5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. It's cool. But yeah.
Having competition, especially for Sony, because currently they're where we're getting our favoured games from, is only a good thing.
Yeah.
For me, I really want them to get into something and go, okay, we're going to have to really do something impressive. Because they're the ones pushing out the boat, the DualSense is incredible, the 3D audio is incredible, and I don't think they would have done it if they weren't afraid that the Xbox, whatever we're on at the minute, would have been good, which it wasn't, and there was nothing to play on it. But I think they were afraid it would be good, and so they really pushed out the boat. And without any competition, I think Sony just stops.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited to see how it all pans out for them. I have to say I don't play too much on my portal. Not because it's not good on this, because I've realized that I just don't play that much handheld. If I'm not, when I'm working, I'm way too busy with my hands.
Yeah.
And when I'm driving, so I can't play anything. So I don't have any use to play outside. So clearly I'm not the intended person for this. I don't know if I would buy it. I'm probably going to be a dickhead and buy it just because I like fucking technology. But I don't think this would be for me based on how I use my portal. But it does sound like a good idea. And a lot of people really like the Steam Deck. So the people that like the Steam Deck, this could be something like that for that type of gamer.
I'm just trying to look for like portable sales numbers. I don't see the Steam Deck here.
No?
But I mean like oh, I just lost it. I'm an idiot. Wait. Okay, so like the Switch, it's over 150 million sales.
Lovely.
And that's on this Wikipedia page that seems old. So like there is a market for it. I just don't know who the consumer is other than like kids so they can play in the car while you're driving to school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm with you. The reason I've never bought like a Switch or a Steam Deck or any of that is if I'm gaming, I'm probably at home. If I'm at home, I have my PlayStation or my PC. Why? I'm 2 rooms away from my PlayStation at any time.
And we've really grown up with the console, the chair, the controller for the whole of our lives. It feels very alien to us to go and change it, especially at this age. To be like, that's it. I'm changing everything.
I'm not opposed to it, but if I'm like, why would I be in my living room on a small screen when I have my TV and my PlayStation right there? Why would I opt for that experience? I don't understand that. And, you know, look, as good as those Switch ads are of going to a rooftop party and bringing your Switch with you, you know, I just...
The ad will never not be funny. We're here to have a good time, and you fucking antisocial bitch, come along and fucking...
I just don't, yeah.
And then the guy on the airplane in that clearly very unnatural position in the seat where he's like...
I don't see it.
Oh man, that was so fucking funny.
I mean, I'm genuinely curious. If you guys are big into handheld gaming, let me know like why and where you play and why you would ever pick, as an example, a Switch or a Steam Deck over if you had a PlayStation, why you would, because I don't understand why I would do that.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to game, I want to get into it. So I want to sit down for like a good few hours and get stuck in. So why would I be on...
Literally the only reason why I would say, only thing I could say is because I've mentioned before, like when I'm on a trip, like a flight, for example, and it's a really long flight, I need something to keep my mind busy because I get very antsy quite quickly. That is the only time.
Yeah.
But I'm not making trips like that a lot. Now, there maybe are some people, but usually those people are like businessmen or something like that, and they've got graphs and Excel sheets to work on. And
That's right.
Whatever they do, whatever businessmen do.
Make terrible creative decisions for our games. Yeah, it's cool. I want Sony to be in things where they have competition. And again, a reminder that the idea is not to make the best money-making thing. It's to make the best product, and therefore they'll make money. And I'm concerned that things like the Concorde fail are changing that.
Yeah.
And without Xbox nipping at their heels, because they just haven't brought out anything. Let's say this: they haven't brought anything out that's great at the start. I'm like maybe Starfield's good by now, maybe, but it's supposed to be like a console pusher. It's supposed to be a Sony, you better watch out, and it just wasn't.
No.
So I really want that competition back in the space, and I also think it's a better way for us to be going than just buying up everything, you know?
Speaking of buying up everything,
Fantastic.
Did you hear that apparently PlayStation is in discussions to buy From Software, the guys that make Elden Ring and Bloodborne back in the day and stuff like that?
That doesn't surprise me because like Bloodborne's famously can only really play it on PlayStation sort of thing.
And Elden Ring is so popular. And that team is clearly talented.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they make a product that their audience loves. Let's say that. I hate it, but that's just me. On the one hand, I just said I don't like companies buying stuff up. On the other, it makes sense for Sony to want to pick up a studio, given that Xbox owns everything at the minute.
Yeah.
And FromSoft's a good purchase. So they're certainly not $7 billion for BioWare or whatever it was they paid. I wonder what do you think that costs to buy FromSoft after Elden Ring?
Yeah,
they should have done it before Elden Ring.
Yeah, now they're at their peak, right? Like surely they're worth a lot of money, so it's probably going to be a lot. We just wonder if it'd be more or less than Bungie. I feel like Bungie was a bad buy.
Yeah,
in hindsight. No,
yeah,
at the time we were like, "Ooh, there could be some benefits here," but they don't seem to be doing too good. Okay, next topic. Game of the Year is coming up. I'll just send you a link to this year's Game of the Year nominees. And they are as follows. Astrobot. Balataro.
Yeah, Balataro, that one really shook the world.
Black Myth Wukong.
That makes sense.
Elden Ring's DLC, Shadow of the Erdtree. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor Refanzatizayo. That one. So,
straight up, Elden Ring shouldn't be on there.
I was going to say, Elden Ring's, the DLC, it's a DLC, specifically this year. Yeah. Jeff Keighley came out and was like, this year we're going to allow DLCs to be nominated for Game of the Year. By the way, Game of the Year this year is one of these 6, and it's right there. Why is a DLC on the Game of the Year game?
Now, in fairness, it seems to be one of the best DLCs ever made.
People are very much enjoying it. Yeah, very much.
And it's giving people, like, it is a full-size game and all of that. But it's not Elden Ring 2. It's Elden Ring DLC, and it shouldn't be on the list. It just shouldn't be on the list.
It shouldn't be on the list.
I'm going to go even further and say I'm a little bit conflicted about Final Fantasy.
Yeah?
Because it's a remake, ultimately.
I guess so, yeah.
I know
they do a lot of changes
It's quite significant. It's quite significant. But just something, to me, feels like it's not a new game. Game of the Year should probably be a new title.
I feel you.
And it can be the next in a series, but it shouldn't be a...
There's only one game that I can think of that isn't on this list that I'm like, were they like running out of games to like put on this list that like they had to pull out a DLC, B, a remake, and C, a solitaire card game, whatever the fuck that Balataro is?
Yeah.
I'm like, and there's one other game that I can think of that should have been on there that if you needed space to fill, Space Marine 2, for example.
That's a crime.
Why isn't that even... I mean, if you were running it... Let's say it's not going to win the Game of the Year, even though I really love the game and I think it should be in the discussion and whatnot. Even if we say it's not going to win, why is it that you have like, damn, we just haven't got any more games. Let's chuck a DLC on there. Let's chuck a solitaire game on there.
It's a crime.
Just to fill out the gaps.
Space Marine 2, whether or not you've played it, whether or not you enjoy it, whether or not it would win, it should be on there.
Yeah. Let's have a look. 2024 games. I'm just going to do a quick search.
I'm doing the same thing just to double check.
Just to see best games of this year.
I'll tell you, so this is going to be maybe contentious.
Go ahead.
But I would prefer if we took out those games. So take out Bellataro, take out Astrobot as well. Astrobot's...
Why would you take Astrobot? Astrobot's great.
Well, it's just...
And it's a game. It's a brand new game.
It is a game, but I don't think it's a Game of the Year contender.
It was very, very good. I'm going to say...
It's a Game of the Year contender. If it's like the finale, Black Myth Wukong versus Astrobot, Who's gonna win if Astrobot wins that? Are you gonna be happy?
I haven't played Black Myth Wukong, but I feel like Black Myth Wukong has a lot more create. No, do you know what? You need to play Astrobot.
Sure.
It's very, very good. It's not just that it's fun. It's not that it's like, it's like a cutesy kind of fun thing.
Yeah.
It's a very, very good platformer. And it's like, I'm talking like a Mario level quality platformer.
Okay.
It's very, very good. And
it's also an exclusive.
True.
So that, again, that rubs me the wrong way. I personally would take out Astrobot, Bellataro, Elden Ring, and Final Fantasy, and I know that's going to rub some people the wrong way. And Final Fantasy is a contentious one. Like, that could probably stay. I'd be more happy if Space Marine and what was that? Ubisoft Star Wars Outlaws.
Outlaws.
I don't think it would ever win, but I think that deserves a place more than Elden Ring.
Oh yeah. The DLC for sure. And that it's not because we think Outlaws is better than the Elden Ring DLC.
Yeah,
because
it's obviously not.
DLC. One's a game and one isn't. That's the point right there.
Yeah, exactly. So I would prefer to see Star Wars Outlaws on there instead of that. It just rubs me the wrong way that we have a DLC on there.
Very, very strange. There was a Batman Arkham game that was on Quest only. At least that's a game.
Yeah.
That could be on there.
Yeah, it's such a bizarre list that I just can't square. So what about Dragon Age?
Oh yeah, Dragon Age Veilguard. That's also
again. I don't know how good it is, but it's a new game,
right?
It's a game,
and there were people. I mean, I think it reviewed quite well as well. I feel like at least reviewers liked it, and obviously these nominations come from reviewers and whatnot. So none of them decided it was good. Who are the people that voted for a card game above all else?
And also, there are plenty of other not standard AAA type games. I'm just curious, how many people got Bellataro downloads?
Do you know what I think it might be? So that card game, for example, is an indie game.
Yeah.
I think it might be one of those situations where, if you was to ask just directors only, what their favorite movie is of the last 5 years, they might mention something that they saw at the Cannes Film Festival, this tiny artsy thing that was 20 minutes long and had 2 words in the whole thing. Yeah. And they were like, oh, it was so powerful. The lack of words made it more powerful.
Yeah, it was shot on 84mm film.
Right.
Who gives a shit?
That kind of thing. And I feel like this is one of them things where journalists the games journalists that voted for this were trying to make a statement. They were trying to be like, indie games, this indie game is far better than all of the corporate muck that we're getting nowadays. And it's like,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I just pulled up the Steam page.
Yeah.
Since February 20th, there's 61,500 reviews, which is a lot on Steam, and they're 97% positive. So it is a very well-regarded game, but again, it seems niche.
Yeah. Helldivers 2 came out as well. This
year. Why is Helldivers not on there? That's a great point.
Helldivers 2, Warhammer 40k. This is crazy. This is nuts.
Yeah, and also Helldivers was in the conversation for everybody. The memes came up about it. It was a big
everyone was very excited for this, and it's not like
Helldivers 2, Space Marine 2. They should be on that list. Whether or not they win is a different thing, but they should be on that list.
This is very, very strange. I'm not sure what's going on. Not sure what's going on with this. Let me view some other categories. So should we do best game direction? Who was best game direction? Same ones again being nominated for that. Best narrative. Oh, Senua's Saga, the Hellblade 2 game is on there.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Could have been easily one of those. Not a DLC for once.
Yeah, DLC shouldn't be on there. As good as it was, I'm not saying it. That could well be the best thing that came out this year, but it's a DLC. Shouldn't be on the Game of the Year list. Yeah. That's just as simple as it is. And this Bellataro, I'm sure it's good. It doesn't look bad. It feels like you said, movie of the year, like Justice League, and this one thing from a French director filmed in Switzerland. It's 5 minutes long. It's a remake of his favorite beer ad.
It was a different shades of grey.
Yeah. it seems so strange.
Yeah, this is very, very strange.
Also, I've been skipping through the video of Bellataro on Steam, and one of these Joker cards just looks like a butt plug. It's bizarre.
I was flicking through some of the categories, and it came to best community support, and it came a bunch of things. And just from the card, the picture of like what the game is, I thought one of them was Concord. I was like, what? Because they refunded everyone immediately. That puts them as best community support. And I looked down, it was No Man's Sky. I was like, oh, thank God.
But No Man's Sky shouldn't be on the list. What are we talking about?
This one's community support, though, so it's okay.
I mean, okay, but I don't know. I really feel like it should be games that are released this year. And do you know what? If we have a glut, then fine. There's just not a lot there. It was a weak year for games, but
then think there were other games there. There were other games that they could have put in there. They just went, no, we're going to put
straight
this
up
nonsense.
and forget. Obviously, Helldivers isn't going to win the community support one, but Helldivers 2 should absolutely be on there. Space Marine 2 should absolutely be on there, and it's not because I love Space Marines. You know, it's not because I love 40k. That game's fantastic, and it should be on there. And it should be on there more than a DLC, and in my opinion, more than a card game.
Yeah. This is crazy. This is nuts.
Which, by the way, is not to take anything away from Bellataro, from people that enjoy it, or the devs that made it. I just don't think it's a good fit for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Like, people aren't... Until I saw that list, I'd never heard of it.
Yeah.
And I never played Helldivers, but I heard all about that. And if it hadn't been for you, I still would have heard all about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just... Why are these games not on there? It's bizarre. It's so strange to me.
So crazy. Let me just double check. I think that's everything that we had to talk about today. Was there anything else? What have you been playing anything since we've last spoken, which has been a while?
It's been a minute. The only two things I'm playing at the minute are Space Marine and Baldur's Gate.
Oh, you're still playing Baldur's Gate?
Fuck yeah.
I mean, it takes that long, literally.
As soon as we... So I was playing it with a mate of mine that I play my Dungeons and Dragons game with, that I picked up in like lockdown, because like we're stuck inside. What else are you going to do? And
other than blow each other, it's just...
we're too far away. I mean, I'm well endowed, but not that well endowed.
Not that well endowed.
They call me the Angry Inch from Meridian. We beat the game. It took maybe like 130 hours or something. And then we were literally wrapping credits. He goes, so what are you going to play next? And I was like, I'm thinking about... Like, it didn't even pause. I wasn't like, I'm going to take a break. I was like, I want to play one of these. I'm going to romance this person. I want to change these options. So we just jumped straight back into another run. Yeah, that game's absolutely phenomenal. I need to play more Space Marine 2, SM2. But
they've added another mission. I think 2 since you last played, but they've added another mission since I last played.
I need to jump onto that.
They announced it.
I want to jump onto that. A little bit of me, this is not fair, but a little bit of me was hoping for a new enemy. And like, not just a new enemy.
Yeah, there is a little new enemy, but it's not like a big enemy.
I was kind of hoping that they'd bring in like the Necrons, like as you're fighting through the missions, like new mission, who
knows in the future what's going to happen, but it's but right now it's not.
And for the record, that's not a fair request. Like, the game is centered around the Nids and Chaos. Like, it's not fair to ask that, but I was just hoping they would do it.
Yeah.
I need to play more.
Yeah.
I just that's the sort of game I wouldn't find myself jumping on for like 45 minutes. You know, I'd want to be like, oh, you've got a couple of hours? Yeah, sick, let's jump on Space Marine, you know? I think you can absolutely play it on your own. You absolutely can. I would prefer to play that with somebody, personally. Not that it matters, but it's such a good game, though. The story's so good as well. Like, I was shocked that they managed to get... That was a very loud S. I was shocked that they managed to get such a good story into it that would let people that don't know 40k still vibe with it, even if you don't know what like the Death Watch is or the Blackguard or whatever, right?
It was quite digestible. Even because I'm at the beginning of my Warhammer journey.
Yeah, and you know stuff. The fact that you know about the old is so annoying to me. Do you realize that dinosaurs are walking the planet when that's happening? You know that, yeah? Like, that is closer to the T-Rex than 40k. You know that.
Listen, it's important. If you don't know about those, then how will you even ever know about, to be fair, in the book that you recommended to me, in the last few chapters, he does speak to one of the Eldari. Which is connected
which one are you
to
talking about?
the Eisenhorn book that you told me.
Oh, Eisenhorn, yeah.
Which is connected. So if I didn't know about them, I would have been like, who the fuck is Eldar guy? Who's that? I don't even know.
Oh, did he get to that trader station?
I think so.
Yeah.
And he told him about like future and stuff like that.
Yeah. The other really bizarre thing, as a fan, it's bizarre that it's Chaos and Necrons on the planet, because those are the two things that the Nids hate to fight the most, because there's no biomass.
Oh, yeah, because they won't take.
Yeah, so they only ever take losses, even if they like win. They only ever take losses against Chaos or the Necrons because there's nothing to eat. They're dust, so they don't like to fight them. It's the only ones. So anyway, just an interesting. As a nerd, that was an interesting. Like, oh,
you are a nerd.
I am a nerd.
Do you know what I'm playing? I've actually really weirdly, just out of nowhere, decided to go back to Battlefield 2042.
Okay.
Randomly, I don't know what happened. Maybe I might saw a clip online or something like that of someone doing something cool. And I just went, all right, I'm going to download this and play again because I feel like I missed Battlefield.
Yeah.
And I heard rumors that they're making another Battlefield and they're like play testing it extensively. And I don't have any trust in them anymore, really, so they can just do whatever they want.
DICE have made a lot of blunders along the way. Totally agreed.
So it needs to come out, it needs to play good, and then I need to see it for myself. So I'm not going to get excited at all. But I picked it back up, and, you know, after playing, so when the COD Black Ops 6 beta came out, I played the online, and being really underprepared for the type of gamer that kids are nowadays, with the dolphin dives back, forth, side, and just
slide cancelling non-stop,
insta deleting you,
yeah.
and I just can't keep up with that shit. It was refreshing going to a normal shooter again, where it was more tactics, more capturing places, vantage points.
It's more about the objective.
Just getting loads equipment, where you can set up motion sensors or defense turrets or vehicles, etc. And there's a counter for everything. It was very refreshing, and I enjoyed myself. There is an issue. I don't know if it's because there's like obviously a lower player count now because it's an older game.
Yeah.
You really can't play console. There's no console players, like barely any. You try to join a game and you're just the only one in the server waiting, right? So I put it on crossplay and I'm playing against PC players with mice and keyboard, which is very, very hard. And then it becomes the server dependence, like where you're ping dependent, where the hell you are. A lot of times I get into a thing and I'm like, I'm dead before I even know what's happening, before I've even seen the person. And sometimes I get in a good game where I'm like, wait, a bit more evenly matched now. So and I get a few kills. I'm like, okay, it's okay.
It's one of the problems as well is, have you seen any of the Rainbow Six footage?
I know I've seen some footage of the game.
These guys hold the filthiest like single pixel peaks. Like it's just horrendous. I don't. It's obviously got a good following. That doesn't do anything for me. But there's a lot of that because it's become so popular again recently, where I think people are just finding like just the filthiest, like, oh, you can see 1 pixel through like a piece of iron through this cement block. Sniper, like 50 cal. Yeah, so that's frustrating. Have you
seen there was a new feature they announced to Rainbow Six Siege because the community is so toxic. I don't know if you've ever been in the Rainbow Six Siege community. It's bad.
Yeah.
One time there was a free weekend and I joined, and because the guy didn't like my my level because I was brand new, he just shot me and killed me, and then that was the end of the game.
Sick.
Like, this is a good community. This is a great community.
That sounds a lot like Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm new. Oh, you don't know the map? Yeah, vote to kick. What do you mean vote to kick? I'm like, how am I going to learn?
How does anyone learn in this situation? There was like they were on a stage somewhere and they were announcing like new features and new like the new season and stuff like that, and they played a video of like standard corporate thing where like they're looking off to the side camera there and they're like talking to an invisible person. They're like, we've now introduced a revolutionary new technology where if someone is saying something in the chat that is incredibly toxic, rude, or whatever it is, then the AI will detect that and automatically mute them. And then all the people in the crowd are like, boo, boo. boo. It's like they know they're toxic and they want to keep it that way.
Yeah, we'll never be able to talk to anyone then.
It's like, how will my mate know he's a dickhead then, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
I was dying laughing. I'm like, boo! This is the game as I know.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like everywhere that people liked being in those MW2 lobbies and they couldn't find a home, they all went to Rainbow Six.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
It seems like it. Anyway,
let's call it
let's call it a day for now. Let's go to our other podcast, the Conbrosations podcast, which everyone should go check out and enjoy and get hooked on because it's going to be around for at least a couple more weeks. All right. I'll catch you in the next one, bro.
See you in the next one.
See you later, boys.